touch a little bit on this as someone who's been in front of the camera, not just on Mr. Robot playing a psychiatrist, but on ER when I played an HIV positive character that was, as I think Mr. Robot is in terms of reflecting today's society. It was really a groundbreaking role and very accurate, and also very, really touched on issues like stigma and secrecy and isolation, and how does someone, what does HIV look like? What does mental health issues look like? Do you know what I mean? It kind of broke down those barriers, and one of the things that I think that's great about Mr. Robot, particularly, for any age demographic, but particularly for high school students or college students, and I know that a lot of young people love the show because they really relate to Elliot, is this issue of, how do we as a society disconnect from each other? Elliot clearly has a different altered reality, and how do we do that as well? It really, I think, reflects what is going on. And New York City has its own challenges, as we all know. And I lived in Los Angeles for a while, where it can be incredibly isolating because you're in your car all the time, and it's very kind of like this. But here, if you're on the subway platform and you're around dozens or potentially hundreds of people, and everybody's doing this, right? So how much does that perpetuate isolation? If you're already struggling with isolation and depression and feeling disconnected from yourself and from other people, how do we as a society, help each other and help ourselves by our own behavior? And one of the things that I think is brilliant about about Mr. Robot in the writing is that it really touches on that, the conversations that he has in his own head, the unresolved grief that he still carries with him about his father. Like, there are so many issues at play, but it's that thing about the social isolation that I think everybody can relate to, even more now than ever before.